Hi, welcome to Daddy Kirp's garden. This year I'm planting a lot of tomatoes. So much that I actually didn't plan very well for where they were all going to go. So I decided to plant in buckets. That way I'm not committed to a certain location. I can move them around as needed, but I could also get the tomatoes in the soil where they're going to thrive. In addition to the 20 plants that are in the raised beds in the garden. So I thought you might be interested in seeing how I'm planting in the buckets. I don't know if it's the best method, but it's what I'm doing this year. So I thought I'd step you through one plant from start to finish, just to give you an idea of what I'm doing. So first, all of my buckets are, all but a few of them are recycled. I picked them up from local delis where they use their pickles and they put the buckets out for free. And I picked those up so that I will use them, in garden projects like you've seen in some of my other videos. And this time as planters. So the soil mixture that I'm using is topsoil from the middle of my property, and also a compost pile that I had started probably a year and a half ago, and I've been working on getting that used up. So compost, sand, and the topsoil. I got the sand out of the chicken coop and I pulled the top layer of the sand off, and then I dug underneath where there's probably some composted manure down in it, but it's mostly just sand. Any of the composted manure that's in there will actually be a benefit to the tomatoes because they are heavy feeders, but it's not going to be so much, and it's not fresh. There's no fresh manure. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first thing I do is I put 1 shovel of my soil mixture in the bottom of the bucket. And I'll go ahead and elevate this so it's a little easier to work with. Now, my plants got a little tall in the greenhouse, but that's okay because for this method, I'm going to plant it all the way down in the bottom of this bucket because a tomato plant will send out roots anywhere that it's covered. So I'm going to go ahead and pluck off the bottom leaves, like so. And you can see those roots hanging out. They're way past time to plant, and I'm just going to gently get that out. Turn it back upright, and I'm going to set it right down in the bottom of the bucket. Then I take some of my sand, and I'm just going to put down in the bottom. I don't know, that might be not quite a cup worth. And I'm just going to kind of mix it a little bit in the bottom. And my soil, the way I'm protecting the plant is I'm holding at the base, and I'm basically supporting that plant against my hand and arm and dumping into the sides. Now once I put 3 scoops in there, I'm going to put a little bit more sand. Let's give that a little mix. And I figure the sand is good for some minerals, some drainage, and also that little bit of composted chicken manure will be like a fertilizer. And that's as far as I'm going, just so that the plant is buried far enough down. It'll get lots of roots, but there's still plenty of room inside here for when I water it, the water will sit in here and then drain down. On the side of the bucket, I'm using a 1/2 inch drill bit, and I'm going to go up an inch, inch and a half or so. I don't know what the perfect number is, but I'm just choosing about that distance. And to start with, I'm doing 3 holes. Later, as I see that maybe it's not draining enough, I might put more holes in, but I want to give this a few weeks, some watering, let that soil settle down, and see how it drains before I commit to putting a whole bunch of holes. So that's it. This is the method that I'm using for planting my tomatoes in buckets, like a bucket garden. Anyone could do this. You know, a lot of times things I do, people comment about, you know, if only I had the land. Well, you don't need 5 acres to do this. This is something that you could do in your backyard, on your patio, on a balcony. You know, so this method, the bucket garden, even though I'm not real fond of plastic, and I'm working through in my life how to possibly use less plastic. Right now, this is a resource that I have. I don't have to go buy it. I'm recycling it and giving it another life. It's not going in the trash. And growing this tomato in this bucket is going to be a lot better than buying the tomatoes at the store where who knows what the condition was. So that's it. Thanks for joining me here on the Daddy Crips Garden. I'll talk to you soon.